looking at the room that we have, the plan is to make a mount that sets the EQ right over here. It's gonna kind of hover up above the amplifier. The whole thing will be mounted on a panel here, and we'll have ability to screw it in, and then there'll be a ledge that goes here and screws and holds the whole thing in place. Let's go cut some plastic. So this is what we've come up with right here. This piece is going to keep the kitties from kicking it. It's made out of 1/4" ABS. It's going to screw into this top bar here. We'll put 2 rivets in it so that this will screw in. And then there'll be 5 screws here across the bottom. We've already just got 1 in. We'll go ahead and pull that out. And then this tray here is going to hold our amplifier and EQ. So now what we need to do is go ahead and get them mounted and build the riser for this guy here. The Alpine amp mounted and we have the top back on. Now what we need to do is make a floating mount for the EQ here. So we have our riser all set and ready to go. This is the back here where that back panel is going to sit and block anyone from kicking it. Now all we need to do is get this bad boy wired up. So the amplifier is all set and ready to go. This is that top deck we were talking about. We have the wires all going up to there. All the plugs are in. RCAs are color coded on input and output. Like we said, there's the rear, there's the front, there's the sub. Inputs are the same. Let's get it in the car. All right, so the fuse holder is just finished up. Good job, Fernando.
Thank you.
Fernando's fancy fuse holder. It's mounted in place right here. There's a cool little clip that he made to attach to this, as you saw. So that's all good. Inside, I have the dash back together. The only thing that's left to go in is the center console pocket. Once we get that in, that'll have the bass knob attached to it, and it's tune time. Grab the RTAs and start metering to see what the heck is going on in this car so that we can make it sound better. Polarity's all good. We have the DD1 here. The first thing we want to do is figure out where this radio clips at. So right now it is clipping. All right, we're good. Yep, that's clipping right there. Turn it down one. All right, not clipping. Clipping, not clipping.
All right.
Let's try 1,000 hertz and we'll figure out which one is the lesser of two evils. All right, so we're not clipping. Is that at the same volume as the 40 hertz?
Yes, same volume.
All right, so we're not clipping there. So we clip at 40 at that. So we'll just leave that as max volume. We have our two RTAs. We have our coming from the radio, and then we have our coming out of the processor. So now we're going to go ahead and try to level this off a little bit.
What?
The EQ's not working. We need the bass knob so we can turn on the EQ. EQ's off. The LCQ one is actually capable of having its own external subwoofer volume control, which is this guy right here. The one unique feature about it is it pushes in and out like this. If your LCQ1 out of the box for some reason, like you're turning the dials and nothing is happening, that means it came default off. The only way to turn it on is to plug in an ACR2. This one came programmed off. Let's go to
Track 11?
Let's go to track 11.
Got it.
Turn it up.
Turn it up, sir. Let me know.
Down.
Down, down.
Up, stop. Go back up.
Up.
Up, down one.
Down.
Right there.
Okay.
Down one more.
Down one more. Okay.
All right, it didn't matter. All right, so go up one. Where's that?
That would be cool if we have it in right here in the M.
Okay. All right, so that's 3.8 volts of output. That is a lot better.
That we're gonna use that for the volume.
We're gonna use that for the volume.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back to pink noise.
Pink noise. Okay, pink noise, sir.
So now that we have the EQ on, we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, start tuning this. And remember, the middle channel is the front, and that's where we're gonna start. All right, next we'll move over here to the subwoofer. All right, so we've put a nice bump into the subwoofer because there was none there to be had. All right, let's go to the rear and see what that looks like. All right, so we have a hole there. I don't know what it is about Ford, but Ford always turns down 1,000 hertz, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. All right, so we have a semi-nice little curve, little slight smile that we have going on here that looks pretty nice. We've boosted some of the trebles, brought in some of the mid bass that was lacking. We did that on front, rear, and of course on the sub we brought in, where there was no sub, we brought in a bunch of bass. So that'll be nice there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get the amplifier plugged in. There, that. All right, so up until this point, we've been playing it without the subwoofer. First we play the fronts, then we play the rears. We have the RTA, we're RTAing the front, and then we'll bring in the rears. You know, that's kind of how we do it. Now that we have this about where we want it, we're gonna go ahead and add in the sub to see what that's gonna bring into the party. So we just used my drawer of goodies here, tune this guy, and make it sound better. Let's take a look at it. There's the kick panel, all nice and kickable. And then we put a plexi cover on top of the LCQ1 so we don't have to worry about any little fingers or french fries getting in there. This is all secured. There's a rivet here, rivet here. All right, that's a wrap. This one's done. Awesome, yeah. Right? Lots of fun?
Yeah.
Now you look like a hoodlum.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks as always for watching.
See you guys later.
How about on to the next one?
On to the next one.